Hello, ladies and gentlemen, it's realBluTV once again, back with another guide video. This time we're going to be talking about Vi. The first one we did, if you haven't watched it and you're a Dallas player or you'd like to start playing Dallas, go ahead, go back, go watch that video. Thanks for the support. Thanks for everything. We're going to keep chugging these out. Eventually, we're going to have all of them out there. We'll be caught up back to hopefully when the newest champ Kestrel comes out. If you don't know anything about her, go to roadcompany.com or Road Company on Twitter. Check that out. There's some good reveals for Kestrel. There's going to be 8 new rogues this year, so hopefully we can get some really good guides for all of them. But for right now, we're going to be talking about Vi and how great of a character she is. Personally, I think that Vi is a top 3 character in the game right now. Top 2, actually, if you really want my strongest opinion. Her and Dahlia, 2 of the strongest characters in the game, and she's gotten even stronger because of the cloak nerf, but at the same time that makes it a little bit more difficult because you have to manage your economy or your cash during the game a little bit better. And Vi is one of those anchor players. You see a lot of people on these pro teams, their Vi player is usually the one that is trying to hard carry. They're trying to do a lot. They've got to get a lot of cash in their bank account so that they can get a lot of stuff online in the game. And also, they're usually the IGL too. Usually the person making the shot calls. They can play back in more of a support role, or they can play aggressive in more of a get in your face role. They can clear people out of areas that they want to keep to themselves. They can create space, they can take space, they can give space as well. They can keep people off of bomb plants, they can keep them off of bomb defuses. So Vi is just overall, all around, one of the best characters in the game, and that's why I have her up there with Dahlia as 2 of the best characters. But enough of that, let's get right into it. So Vi was actually infected by a deadly poison, right? So Vi is a freedom fighter desperately searching for a cure. Her ability is called Vile Poison. It creates a cluster of poison pools that reduces enemies' maximum health. So the way this works is you have 2 of these. You have 2 of your ability. You have 2 uses. You throw 1 and it breaks into 3 mini circles area where you throw it, and if an enemy steps in it, it starts ticking their health away, and it gives you that maximum health. So you can have up to 125 maximum health to yourself. Meanwhile, let's say an enemy was in there until they got to 90 health. They can no longer regenerate up to 100 health. They can only regen to 90 health. So you're taking away their maximum health while increasing your maximum health. The passive is leeching poison. Again, that's reducing the maximum health of enemies, gradually increases your maximum health up to a cap of 25, so you can get to 125, which is basically like having armor. That's why she doesn't have armor. If she did, she could have 150 health. That'd be kind of OP. And she's already OP enough. Talk about her kit. So the first is her assault rifle. It's the Nightshade. It's a cutting edge silenced assault rifle. It comes silenced to begin with, and it's already great. We have tier 1, which increases your magazine size, so you go from 25 in your clip to 35. Tier number 2 increases your hipfire accuracy and reduces your reticle bloom. That's really good for controller players especially. And then 3, the tier 3 upgrade increases your damage range, so the range goes from 15 to 18 units. I haven't quite figured out how big a unit is in this game yet. It took me a while to figure it out in Paladins. Her second primary is the S12 Tactical. This is a shotgun. I'm gonna be honest, I think the shotgun is not very good. I think it lacks in the game compared to the other shotguns like Chalk Shotgun or the Arbitrator from Scorch and Anvil. So, time being, I think you're going with the Nightshade most of the time. All right, and we'll talk about the upgrades once we get into the shooting range. Talk about that. Her shotgun, the S12 Tactical. It's a lightweight, semi-automatic shotgun. First tier increases your magazine size from 6 to 10. Second upgrade increases the hipfire accuracy. And third upgrades the damage range from 8 to 10 units. It does 64 damage to the body. It's got a really slow fire rate in 2.67. Reload time's not that slow, but it's not that fast. It's a 0.38. Again, it's a shotgun though, so you got to hit your shots. Got to be pretty close range. Talk about the Executioner, which is her pistol. To me, I think the Executioner is the best pistol in the game all around. You know, we talked about the Dallas pistol. It's one of the best in the game if you can hit your shots, especially the headshots. But the Executioner has a very fast fire rate. It's got it's 4.4 for the fire rate. It's got a 12 magazine clip. You can upgrade it to 16 if you want. The reload time's not that slow. It's only 2 seconds. And overall, this gun is it's the best all-around pistol. Talk about the Warrant because you have a faster fire rate. That gun's really good. It's powerful as well. Then you also have the Burst pistol, which is now from Scorch, which is a 2 burst, but it does more damage now to compensate for taking one of the bullets away in each of the bursts. And you also have guns, again, like the Scorpion pistol, which is the automatic pistol. All those guns are good. I think each pistol has its advantages, and when it comes to the Executioner, I think it's the best all-around pistol. Executioner. Her melee is a katana, pretty easily recognizable. Everyone knows what a katana is. Hopefully it's a sword, so of course. Let's talk about her lethal and her utility. Her utility is a tear gas grenade. A gas grenade that creates a field of disorienting gas. If you are unaware, by the way, this was a really good thing to use with Trench and Vi, and now it's even better because they buffed it. Talk about a little bit more about that into the shooting range once we start looking at the loadout. Then the incendiary grenade, just like our boy Dallas in our first video. Again, this is really good. Tier 1, the radius. Tier 2, you increase the fire duration. For the gas grenade, you first upgrade increases the gas duration. The second one increases the amount that you have, so you can have 2 of them. Her perks, let's talk about those. We have Evade and Cloaked as her 4K perks. Evade, I don't really find myself using this at all, but it's after you are being damaged, you increase your movement speed for a short duration. And actually, when it procs, you'll actually hear it in game. It makes like a wind, like a running through wind kind of sound, so you'll know when it activates. Cloaked drastically reduces the duration of enemy reveals. It does not apply to persistent reveals like Nano Smoke and Talon Dart. Again, this has been nerfed, so we're gonna have to talk a little bit more about that when we're in the loadout screen. Take reduced damage from explosives is Tenacity. That's your first $6,500 perk, and then the second one is Helping Hands. First one is in Tenacity. You take reduced damage from explosives. That's really good. And then we have Helping Hand, which of course revives teammates faster. It's not the same as Dahlia's Lifeline or Sigurd's Lifeline, but does help you revive people faster by hand. Her 10K perks are Tracker Rounds and Replenish. Tracker Rounds is anytime you damage an enemy with your firearm, so your pistol or your primary, it'll reveal them to your team. Replenish is downing an enemy, reloads your currently equipped weapon, and restores your ammunition. Alright, so let's go ahead and let's jump into a shooting range. Talk about what I like to buy and purchase and in what order specifically. Alright, so here we are. We're in the shooting range. And here is your kit for Vi. Of course, she will need a lot of money. Pretty much pop off. If not, it's okay. So we'll do a 4-man Vi. But first off, round number 1 at the start of the game, I'm going with Molly, or the Ensign. Whether I'm on offense or defense. If I'm on offense, I can use that to keep them off of the bomb. You know, once we get that plant, I can keep them away from it. If they try to defuse, I like to play my life. You also have the Vi poison pools if you still have those available during the bomb portion of the round as well. So if they try and get towards there, which is really good too, especially if you're in a ranked game and there's a team that is Anvil on defense and they try and put the shield down so that they can defuse from behind the shield, you can throw the incense at the shield. If the shield's close enough to the player, which most likely it will be because not a lot of people like to place it far away, that way it covers them more, it has more coverage of them, allows for less chance of different angles being able to sneak in behind that shield. Anyways, they put that shield down, you throw the incense right at that shield, and it'll spread around and through the shield, and it'll keep them from deep bomb. Same with your pools of poison. Second round, if I'm doing well, I will, of course, get one down, plant the bomb, get an assist, get a revive, whatever it may be. In order to get that $8,000 in my pocket, I'm going with the Nightshade. I will never buy the S12 Tactical unless they buff this gun tremendously. I will not be using the S12 Tactical. If you like this gun and you prefer this gun, go ahead, use that gun. I mean, it really just comes down to what you prefer. And for me, I prefer the Nightshade any day of the week, baby. It comes with a silencer too, so anytime I shoot, I won't show up on the mini map as well. That's just another added bonus, even though it's a small one. Sometimes that can come into play and towards my advantage. So I'm going with the Nightshade. Now, if I'm really doing well, which hopefully I am, and I have another 4K, so let's say I get, what is it? Let's say I get, I think about 6,500 to 7 grand in that first round, the pistol round. I should have about 12 grand afterward, right? So if you don't do well after the pistol round, you're gonna have 7,500 cash. So you just need 500 for that 8,000 in order to get your primary. And then if you get another 4, so if you're looking at 6,500 or 5,500 round even, you're gonna be able to have another 4K. If you have another 4K and you're going up against a Dallas or anything like that, I'm gonna go ahead and grab Cloak. The reason why, even though Cloak was nerfed, is because it's even better. It's even more crucial. I'm not gonna say better. It's even more crucial to have it now. Because the way Cloaked was nerfed, people think that you shouldn't have to buy it. The reveals are going to come out in more and more droves, right? I am going to be honest with you. I don't really like the Cloak nerf. I think it should be reverted back to what it was. It should go up to 6,500 at minimum. It should be a 10K perk in my opinion. So here is one way to do it. You can go Incend first round and then primary and then Cloaked if you're able to buy it. If not, just your primary is fine. Okay, this is the basic. Now, if you're poor, okay, you didn't do well in the first round, they have reveals. You can go with this. If they were really heavy on the explosives, I would go Tenacity. But if neither of those are really that crucial in the second round, I'm gonna go with Tear Gas. That way I can have a little bit of utility on my side, even though I don't have a primary weapon. Because the other team might be feeling themselves and they have their primaries and you don't, they might want to play a little bit more aggressively. So that util from the Tear Gas is going to keep them at bay a little bit. And if they do end up pushing into the Tear Gas, you're going to have the advantage because they're going to look like a drunk person trying to aim their gun, okay? So again, let's go with that primary. The other thing that I like to do is if I don't need this, if I'm doing well, I'll go with the Tear Gas for the same reason. Just adds to that, okay? In this new meta though, especially with Vi and other characters like Saint, you want to rush your tracker rounds as fast as possible. So let's say you have 3.5 grand left over after you get your primary in round 2, or you have 4 grand but you don't want to grab your Tear Gas because you want to rush this. The next round you should be able to get this right off the bat, okay? So you want your tracker rounds, you want your Tear Gas as fast as possible. All 3 of these are very crucial. The only times Tenacity comes into play very early game is if they have someone that is doing a lot of explosive damage, like a Ronin because of the knife and the ability to have a grenade, or maybe they have a Dima that is just launching grenades down your throat. So, best case scenario, without any of those other added variables, I'm going to be looking like this by round 3. If I'm not looking like this by round 3, I need to step up my game. Even though you may be top fragging, even though you may be winning the game, I need a lot of stuff with Vi, in my opinion. So I've got to get tracker rounds on as fast as possible. There are even some people that are prioritizing this over their lethal now, or their utility, their Tear Gas, which is okay. But again, all 3 of those looking really. The other thing I want to do in this game, remember, $60,000 in a half, that's 10K a round. Maybe even a little bit more in some other rounds to make up for some that you didn't get that 10K. That's when you know you're doing really good. If you reach the $110,000 match score, you had a good game, okay? Now, of course, if you get more, you're balling, you're doing great. I mean, there's games where I have like 130, 140K cash. I got 18, 22 downs. Yeah, that's great, but that's, unless you're a god, that's probably not going to happen every game, especially in uncoordinated areas like ranked and casual. So we're going for the basic builds here, okay? Now, if this is a basic build, you're not going up against anybody that's really revealing you that much, but you're going to be doing the revealing because you have that track round. The other things I like to do is, of course, just like Dallas, we upgrade this Incend grenade one time, Increased fire duration, we don't really need that. It's not that important. We're going to double upgrade our tear gas, hopefully at some point in this game, because we want that extra one, and we want to increase the duration of that. When we come to the primary, the only time I upgrade this most likely is for the number 1, just so I can get the 35 bullet clip instead of the 25. I want to have tenacity as well. After this, I pretty much just free ball it. Because we prioritize tracker rounds, we kind of fall out of being able to get our melee so early, but I still find ways to get my melee, right? Now, after this, if you still have cash in the half, you are able to do whatever you want with it. If you need to be able to revive your teammates, you can go with Helping Hand. If you need Cloaked, you can go with that. Some other options that I usually go with if I'm not using Cloaked or Helping Hand is I like to go to this second one in case I need to hip fire. After that, though, I usually only have about $2,000 left, if anything, or maybe even $1,000, 1,500. You know how it goes towards the end, the later rounds into a half. I just, sometimes, hey, if I'm using my pistol a lot, I'll upgrade so I get 16 in the clip, and if not, I increase my sword, especially if they have characters that can have armor and stuff like that, so I can increase the throw damage when I throw my sword at people. But usually, this is the normal standard loadout that I'm using right now with Vi. Double tear gas, single upgraded Incen, tracker rounds as fast as possible, tenacity just to be safe, and 1 tier upgrade on my Nightshade. And of course, Cloaked comes into play if I need it. If I need to give something up for Cloaked, I'm going to give up the sword. Alright, so that's pretty much it for Vi. Remember, here's a couple quick tips for you. Remember, you don't have to play aggressive all the time. If someone's trying to defuse the bomb, you have your Incen, you have your Vi poison pools, your ability, and same with on offense. You can push defenders out of the area that you want to take control of. This game has many aspects, and one of them is taking and creating space, which Vi can do very well. If you come from a game like Overwatch or Paladins, it's the same as playing a tank and taking that space or creating space. The more space you control, the less space that the defense or the other team has to work with. So Vi is one of those great characters that can create space, take space, and command it herself. So for any of you potential Vi mains out there, if you don't already have her, go ahead. If you haven't tried her out, go ahead and do that. She's top 2 character in the game right now behind Dahlia. Although things may change as this meta starts to unfold a little bit more. But right now, Dallas, Dahlia, Vi, looking like the strongest out there right now. Have a good one, everyone, and keep grinding.